Kindly sit down. Thank you for your courtesy. Two pages. I ask that I be allowed a little bit more time to just say it in my own words. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano. He's one. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez. He's the handsome guy here. Trade and Industry Secretary Ramon Lopez and the other members of the cabinet. We have him in the front seat. Senator Joseph Victor J.V. Ejercito. He is running for Senator. Philippine Ambassador to Singapore, Joseph Yap. Our friends from the Singaporean and Filipino business community, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. You know, what makes a person with money invest in another country? I hold it as an article of faith that the number one requirement from my experience, having been 23 years mayor of Davao City, is that you have to keep order in the city, law and order. And the workers, whether foreigners or locals, are protected. Second is there corruption? Maybe in the past. But I assure you now that you will have an ease in doing business in the Philippines. I will provide you with a number. It's actually my aid. I do not bring with me or carry with me a cell phone. I do not know how to operate this goddamn thing. And whenever you push one, 3 figures come out. So I stick to the push button. Yeah, but analog. Yeah, but I do not have it with me now. So there has to be peace and order. There must be no corruption. And you import or you export, that you are not bothered with the red tape, and eventually it boils down to corruption. And that you have access, that if you go into trouble, whether for anything at all, whether it's the BIR or the customs, I said, all you need to do is to pay the tax, the right tax. Well, the BIR is always there to negotiate. If they think that you get a lower or a discount maybe, if you just pay, that ends up everything. You will encounter problems with the local governments, sometimes in the permit, sometimes in the land conversion which you'd like maybe to develop from a forest to an agricultural land to an industrial area. All of these things can be done with enough personnel there to follow it up, and I assure you, I will establish a line that's very simple to follow, and if you have any misgivings, just call me. Especially if it's about corruption, I will give you time to talk to me. At any at any instance or whatever be the time, except of course when it's night, you can call my aide or any cabinet member or the Secretary of Finance. You will be provided with sufficient information whom to call. And that would be it. We will make it simple, and maybe I can task the Department of Trade and Sonny Dominguez of the Finance to formulate a simpler, much simpler, easier procedure to go and start a business. That I can assure you now, and for as long as I am there, as well, in my office, it's beside the river. But as long as I'm there, there will be no corruption in my government. All you need to do is just ask you, anybody for that matter, what's your business with me? And we start to say, I want to see your records. And you say, it's been done. I paid my taxes. I want to say your place of work. It's already finished. We've started our operation. What do you want more? Because the president said to us in Singapore that any unnecessary disturbance, molestation, or trouble that is caused on you, I give you the right to kill him, shoot him, stab him, or push him out of the window, and I will take care of your pardon at no expense of your. No kidding. I'm just saying that when everybody starts to mess up your business, all you have to do is say, President, your president has assured me this. Kindly leave the premises. Do not ever come back, because I will call this number, and this number belongs to the president. And I would show you how I deal with corruption. If you want how it is done, I can do it in front of you. But I assure you that there will be remedial measures in a matter of hours. That has always been my policy. Because if we continue to indulge in graft, then the Philippines is really doomed forever. Every administration has had a component of corruption. And that is why Philippines was really hard up in trying to improve the living conditions of my country. It has gotten us a bad name, and people are discouraged. So the only way really to move forward is to assure you can bring your profit out, no problem with the central bank. Sonny will see to it that everything is made easier for you. As long as you pay your taxes, just obey the laws, the environmental requirements are there, and everything that would maybe bring in some complaints, you just take care of the laws. There are a set of laws to follow. If it's followed, then we're okay, and we can talk about business. And I welcome you. I will give you, I assure you, the protection that you need. No corruption is no corruption. I stake my presidency on this. I will lose the presidency on this. I will lose the honor and the prestige in pursuing that policy of no corruption. Because it is only when a person gets to be comfortable in a country, do business without really a disturbance at all, and he gets his profit and bring it to his home or wherever he want it. My interest there is, at this time of our national life, is not to bleed business, but rather encourage business to flourish so that my countrymen can have work. That is all there is to it. Minimum of taxes. We can always negotiate. Government and capital can always talk about it. Just do the right thing, I said. We'll be ready to negotiate. But on the highest level, and I said, down below, even on the local government units, maybe you'd want us to also to intervene, and I will. Because our Constitution says that the executive department, along with the national offices and the regional offices of the national government, I have the control and supervision. Control is I can change your decision right there and then, and I supervise. But the local government law says that I only have supervision. Why? Because they are elected. My powers are limited, but I can change the rules down there if I really want to, especially if it involves wrongdoing or corruption. That is the only thing that you need to hear from me. That you are protected, that you can bring out your profits, that there will be law and order in your place, and that you will not be visited by a lot of government people questioning this question that in the guise of inspection, but for the reason that they are there because of the money. Do not give in to them. All you have to do is to make a call, I said, and I will grant you any time, especially about graft, about workers in government asking for money. The police is there. It will be sufficient to protect. All you have to do, I said, is to make the necessary call, and we will be there to see to it that what I promised today will be the same rules that you'll encounter in your business. Thank you, and good afternoon.